Welcome to the Elevate Experiences YouTube channel, where we help you create events that people love. Planning an amazing event full of smiles and engagement does not have to be overwhelming. We're here to teach you how. And we're going to get started in 3, 2, 1. What's up, everybody? Welcome to another YouTube Live right here on the Elevate Experiences YouTube channel. And I'm excited because I'm joined by two amazing leaders and women. We've got Sarah Kate and Allison in the house, and it is holiday party season. Sarah Kate and Allison. So I'm in Jacksonville, Florida. Sarah Kate is in Colorado, and Allison is in our studio in Alpharetta, Georgia. What's up, y'all?
Morning.
Good morning. Yeah, having a great day here. Also, good morning.
Also a good morning. Whether you're in Colorado or in Alpharetta, or you're in Florida like I am, or maybe you're overseas, welcome and good morning. And we're excited because we brainstormed this collectively, the three of us. We brainstormed this topic and we came up with different tips for the holiday party season. Now it's listed as 10 tips. And we're going to I've written down 7, and we're going to have a bonus of 3 that totals up 10 for you guys. So tip number 1 that we have is begin with the end in mind. And now when we were talking about this, I know that Sarah Kate and Allison, you primarily have been helping with prepare for an event that we've got today. So Billy and Allison are going to be in our studio today with another gentleman by the name of Michael Blair, and it's for the company Aaron's, right? So tell us a little bit more, like, what is the end for them? Why, like, what's like the end that they're thinking through?
Allison, you want me to take this one?
Yeah, Sarah Kate, you go.
I think the thing that comes to my mind immediately is that they want their people to feel celebrated and have fun. They told us when we were working with them on planning out the show and getting all of the times intact that they don't even care if the show goes over time. They just want people to be having fun. So it almost feels like it would be more of a success if we do go over a little bit on time, whereas some of our clients, really need to stick to a certain time stamp. Aaron's folks are really excited just to pump up their people, make them feel celebrated. It's an award show, so really making individual celebrations a focus and just having a whole lot of fun.
Well, and it's fun because like when we went through like the test of yesterday, so it was myself with you, Sarah Kay, Allison, and Billy in the studio in Alpharetta. When we were testing everything, we were going through, like, we were brainstorming things like the games and how is it going to work with like Billy and Michael Blair there in the studio, and then with you offsite and the slides and what does this sound like? What is this microphone? So I think that that's really important to think through that.
Oh no.
Here we are. Just
looks like we lost Sean.
That's all right. We can keep it rolling, sister.
That's right. Well, there he is. He's back.
I accidentally hit a button.
This is a live show, everybody.
This is live. Okay, so this is a tip. This mouse that I have right here, I accidentally hit this button on the side of the mouse, and it went backwards in my web browser, and it exited me out. So
I thought we were about to have a girls' party. So
I know we were ready to run the show.
Oh, I mean, it is already. All right, I'll see y'all later. Okay, I'm gonna.
Nice.
Just kidding.
Now we've got it down pat.
Well, I think that that's super important to what you're talking about, because like all throughout the entire time that we were prepping, like yesterday and the day before, we're like, okay, you know what? This doesn't even matter like as much, because they just want their people to have fun. Right. And we just kept coming back to the fact that they just kept saying, hey, we just want our people to have a good time and to feel celebrated. So I think that's awesome. Okay, so we've got Aaron's, and then the other one that I thought of which actually you, Sarah Kate, I'm going to put myself full screen to show this picture real quick. So this is a picture of Georgia's Own, an event that we did just last week. It feels like a month ago, but it was last week from our studio, and the end that they had in mind was they really wanted their people to, again, feel celebrated, a lot like Aaron's, but also like they are used to shooting off confetti cannons, and they're used to like just giving away wads of cash and gift cards and gift baskets. And so if you look at this picture, if you're watching the stream or listening to this, there's a picture. If you're listening to this, I'll describe it. but there is two gentlemen standing. So it's Dave, the CEO of Georgia's Own, and then next to him is Billy, and next to Billy's shoulder is this TV screen, and on the TV screen is 49 different faces. So on Zoom, you can toggle between having 25 people on screen or 49 if you have a computer that can handle it. And they are used to having these people in the room. And so literally like Dave brought in, he had this like Nerf gun and he was like shooting it at the TV screen. And we were like, all right, we think it hit this person, so you get a gift card. And I think we gave away something like 40 or 50 gift cards. We had 6 different gift baskets and it was really, really fun. And that was kind of the big thing that they were thinking through for their end in mind, is they wanted to be that way, as well as they want it to be, I'm going to put this picture up full screen also. So this is a picture of their people in action doing a give back part of the event, where the other part of the end of mind is they really wanted to benefit nonprofits that were out there. So when they got their people together, maybe this is for your holiday party, is maybe a tip is to think through what's a way that you can have your holiday party and your people feel like you're actually giving back to the community. And so they had picked, I think it was like 16 different nonprofits, and their people were packaging up things to donate to them, as well as helping them sort through stuff. So it was really kind of a cool mixture of, hey, let's get together, let's have some information, let's celebrate our people. And then after the virtual event side was over, then in it was like 35 different sites, but again, benefiting like 16 different nonprofits. They divided up their time and their energy, and they said, okay, now let's have some lunch and do these things in smaller groups. I thought that was super cool. So that's kind of the tip number 1 that we had, is begin with the end in mind. Tip number 2 that we had is to tie in some sort of nonprofit or charity or some kind of give back initiative. And then tip number 3 that we wrote down when we brainstormed this was think minute by minute. Allison or Sarah Kate, which one of you wants to talk about that for a second?
I can take this one.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Do it.
What's great about minute by minute, and you can use any sort of platform for this. We love Planning Center. We've also had people who use Excel or Google Sheets. Anything's an option, but it's easy for you to think that you just need to think through all of the big pieces of your event. So you have a welcome, you have a speaker, you have lunch, you have another speaker, and then you close out the event. That's easy. But what you really need to think through is the exact minutes behind all of that. So how long will that welcome be? What's included in that welcome? Who's going to set up the keynote speaker? Is that going to be a video? Is it going to be a person? How many mics do we need? And how many minutes will that be? And then how many minutes will I have for lunch? And then what is happening before and after lunch? Thinking through the minutes is going to set you up for success so that you have less awkward moments in your event, honestly.
100%. And I've got another picture for this one. So Billy and myself went to New York a couple of weeks ago. I think it was 2 weeks ago now. So literally a couple of weeks ago. And this is a picture of the event from there. And so one of the things that we did with this group is they said, hey, they literally sent us like the agenda for the 2 days. And the agenda was like, okay, from 5 p.m. until this time, this is what's happening. And then the next day, like from 8 a.m. until here was breakfast. And then from like 9 a.m. to 11 was like this group. And we said, you know what, like that's great having like those big chunks, but like what's happening in those big chunks? So that's number 1, is thinking minute by minute. Okay, how many minutes? If you have 2 hours and there's 2 speakers, well, is one speaker for 45 minutes? And then who's transitioning between the 2 speakers? Is there a break between them? How long is the break? How long is the transition going to take? If they're playing a video, how long is the video that's going to play? So really thinking minute by minute is what we were brought in for this event. Again, here's a picture of it. And you can see like I've got on the table there's multiple computers. We've got the microphone. So it's like when you're thinking minute by minute, it's also, okay, well, if someone's on stage for 45 minutes, are they on microphone 1 or microphone 2? And then when they come off, what happens to microphone 1? Who's taking that? And then who's on microphone 2 to introduce the next one? So that's really, really important, is the minute by minute piece. All right. So the next tip that we have for you guys, which is tip number 4, is to focus then. So we talked about and it kind of goes hand in hand, but focusing on the transitions. So focusing on transitions is super important, just like we're doing here with myself, Sarah, Kate, and Allison. We're like, okay, well, who wants to take this? And then behind the scenes, even though I've already kind of like put my foot in my mouth or like done what you're not supposed to do by backing out of the actual thing, I'm sitting here behind the scenes like, okay, well, while this person's talking, like I'm making them full screen, that kind of thing. So it's really important to think through your transitions. And here's another picture for everyone. And then Allison, I'll let you talk a little bit more about this event and the transitions. And so this picture, which I've got for you guys, this is from an event that we did last week. So this is a mobile studio that was set up at a training room at a client. And this was what they call a virtual hangout. And it was focused on global diversity awareness. And some of the transitions that happened was, okay, they were outside, like to the left there, you can see the windows. And they were outside eating lunch, and then they came in the room, and then we went live on Zoom, and I kicked it off I was the host MC, and I kicked it off by welcoming everyone, and then I welcomed everyone in the room. I walked over to the Zoom wall, and I was like interacting with people, and it was actually touchscreen, so it was kind of cool. But then after that, I handed it off to the CEO of the company. The CEO, we talked through beforehand. We said, okay, then you're going to hand it to the committee for DE&I, and then the DE&I committee, when we talked through it, we said, okay, we want you to hand it back to us. So Allison, is there anything else that stands out to you about like the importance of transitions as it relates to maybe that one event that we just talked about?
Yeah, absolutely. I think everything we're going to talk about today all build on one another to create an amazing event for you. So we said from the beginning, you want to begin with the end in mind. So we knew this hangout was all about DE&I. So every transition that Sean thought through, equipping people to know when they need to be up and set up the next speaker, whenever he was setting up the next speaker, those transitions are a great time for you to focus on what your end goal is, which was D&I for this client. And so every transition, Sean would talk about his own personal experience with that, and then he would set up the DE&I committee, and they would come up, and then the CEO would come up. So thinking through your transitions, again, goes back to your event being smooth, seamless, stress-free, and not awkward for you or the attendees. So you always want to think through, okay, so I'm going into the keynote speaker next. Who's going to set up the keynote speaker, video or person? And then if it's a person, are they equipped? What mic are they going to be on? If I'm using mics, are they going to focus on my end goal of this event and say something about that? Think through all of those transitions, and your event's going to be a lot more fun for you.
100%. And so we talked about the transitions, we talked about the minute by minute. And then one of the things that's a really fun element that we got to kind of flex on a little bit, specifically you and Allison and Sarah Kate, you guys kind of worked together a little bit on this, is different music playlists for an event, right? Like recently, this is another picture of I got to go to this is actually a store in Alabama, and I was the DJ MC for it's Halloween season's coming up, so they recognize people might be shopping for their Halloween costume already. And we had some different playlists that were created. We had music that was prepped for the DE&I event. We had playlists that were created we literally create like playlists for almost every single one. So Sarah, Kate, and Allison, tell us a little bit more, like tell everyone who's watching this or listening to this later, like what kinds of playlists could they be creating and why is that important?
Allison, I'll let you take it too, but I think the thing that always resonates with me is that music is such a great solution to any moment. It creates an energy. It has so much control over what people are feeling and experiencing from the very beginning. So from the very beginning of a virtual event or an in-person event, you hear the music and that sets the mood. It sets the tone. It almost gives attendees an idea of what to expect. So if it's a super hype event, like an awards show or something like that, having hype music that's going to get everybody excited really sets the tone for the event. And then of course, throughout the event, through those transitions that, to Allison's point, all of these things really truly build on each other. And so having the right music in place for transitions and background music when someone's speaking or presenting an award, all of those things matter so much and really create just such a different experience and adds so much value. So Allison, you want to speak to the different types of music and things like that? She's a playlist queen, so let's let her take this.
I would say, I think that you all who are watching this video know when music has not felt right. When you walk into a store or restaurant and they're playing like techno rave music and you're like, where am I? I thought I was going to Longhorn. I thought I was getting a blooming onion and suddenly I'm at a rave. That doesn't feel right. So music, when it's right, you might not even feel it. When it's wrong, you definitely feel it. And then sometimes when it's really right, you really love it. So again, just like Sarah Kate said, I would focus on what kind of vibe and what kind of experience do you want your attendees to feel? So again, we're thinking with the end in mind. Do we want people to walk away excited, having a good time? Do we want people to walk away feeling inspired? Okay, if they want to be excited and having a good time, let's do some throwbacks. Let's do some sing-alongs. Let's do songs that can't help but get people to sing along. And then you build your playlist around that. What kind of clientele do I have? What age range are they in? What songs do that for them? For example, the picture that Sean showed us was actually geared towards college students. So throwbacks to them right now is about 2010. But for another event we did, throwbacks for them, yes, this event right here that Sean's showing you, that was all geared towards college students. So we focused on TikTok songs. We focused on songs from 2010, Miley Cyrus. We've even focused on some theme songs of TV shows that they watched back then. So thinking about your client and what really makes them come alive, and then build your playlist around that.
100%. And you, Allison, like what was fun is when we were working through this, we started off with one big playlist, and then we recognized like, well, there's just some songs that maybe fit in different parts of the event. And so we ended up creating a dance playlist. We ended up creating a chill playlist, a vibe playlist. And then what was the fourth one? I can't remember the name of the fourth one.
I think it was just sing-alongs.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. It was sing-alongs. Like if you're shopping and you want to be like singing along, like classic ones like that. That was a really fun one. And if anyone wants to, so if you're watching this on YouTube, or if you're a YouTube person, you can search on Google this guy named Tim Hawkins. And I don't have the video pulled up, so I can't show you, but it's the perfect example of it. But Tim Hawkins has this video where he's a stand-up comedian and he's playing a guitar, and it's songs that you should never hear at a wedding. And he was telling the story about how he was talking to a friend of his, and his friend was getting married. And he was like, yeah, like, because he knew that he played the guitar. He was like, oh, I would love for you to play at my wedding. Great. Like, while I'm walking down the aisle. Okay, cool. Like, well, what do you want me to play? And he's like, you choose. And like the audience starts laughing. And he's like, are you sure about that? Like, are you sure? And so he starts like going through these songs like, dude looks like a lady, like songs that you should never hear at a wedding while people are walking down the aisle. So that's just a great example of how like a song could ruin the moment.
That's right.
So look that up. I highly recommend it. All right. So we talked about the music. What about celebrating your people, specifically for like a holiday party? And so celebrating your people, I think, is a really important one. And this is actually another picture. I know that I'm like the picture person right now. I'm like the person who's like always pulls out the phone, but it's fun to show pictures. So here's a picture of an awards night this is a group of franchisees that got together. And so this is the founder of the company taking a selfie. It's kind of a tradition of theirs, but this is at the beginning of an awards night. And so imagine if this was a holiday party, how celebratory would that feel if you're in a room of all of your peers and maybe their spouses, and you're able to get up and be celebrated in front of people because of either the hard work that you've done, your character that you've shown through that hard work, or something along those lines. And so celebrating your people is really, really important. You can, here's a couple of small recommendations for holiday parties based upon ones that we've helped before, is you can celebrate people with either by giving awards that relate to your company's values, things that you want reproduced. So like if it's sales you really need, then focus on actual sales for your company, celebrating like the top salespeople. So think through those two things, and I think that'll be helpful. All right. So the next one. Yeah, go ahead.
A holiday party. We talked about this when we were brainstorming. A holiday party is a great time for you to focus on that. It tends to fall at the end of Q4. And so you have the whole year to go back on and reflect. These are all tips for your holiday party that you're planning on throwing or need help throwing, and celebrating your key players that made that year a success. That's a great time to do it.
100%, 100%. And so the next tip that we have for you guys with the holiday party that kind of ties into everything we've talked about so far is to think diverse. And so think diverse about the music choice, right? Like pick a little bit of country or a little bit of hip hop and a little bit of R&B, like a little bit of dancing, a little bit of new, a little bit of old, that kind of thing. So think diverse with your music. I mean, at this event that we were at, here's the picture again. But at this event that we were at, they had a diversity. Of course, it was focusing on diversity, but they had a diversity of foods, and they had a diversity. They encourage people to dress based upon like their ethnicity or where their family is originally from. And so thinking diverse at a holiday party is really important. You can think diverse as far as like people's food tastes or food preferences. Maybe have breakfast there. Maybe people want breakfast. It would be just a really fun way to mix it up. But I think that that's really important. What other things should they be thinking about, Sarah, Kate, and Allison, that would be a way to think diverse at their events? We talked about, I mentioned music, food. What else? What other things could they be diverse on?
Definitely stage presence. So you don't want to have the same skin tone, gender, even body ability on stage. So think about how many people are going to be speaking and presenting and hosting and engaged from your stage, and think about your attendees, and then try to have the stage reflect your attendees that are in the audience. So make sure that you think diverse when it comes to who's on your stage as well.
Yeah, that's great.
Love that. All right. So think diverse. And then one thing that we also came up with for a holiday party that would be a fun tip is to have a theme for your event. So whether that's a tacky Christmas, or if you're going more generics, it can be like, diverse holidays. You can celebrate like all of the holidays at one time. So you can definitely do things like that. And this is another picture. I feel like I'm like a broken record. I'm like, I got a picture for everything. I just need to stop saying that. I'm just going to say like, okay, well, here's an event that we did. And the theme, this is the franchise event again, but the theme, if you see there in the middle behind the speaker on stage, was one direction. They wanted to have their entire organization moving in one direction, which made it kind of fun too, because we got to play like One Direction songs. We got to do things that were One Direction related. So having a holiday party theme, I'm curious, Sarah, Kate, and Allison, what themes have you seen at holiday parties that are pretty fun to do?
Oof. I mean, I'm a sucker for a tacky Christmas. So
yeah.
I will say that's probably a fave, no matter if you're in person or virtual, having everybody just festive and dressed up. And how cool would it be if it was just tacky holiday too? If we're, tying in the diversity side, what if it's just tacky holidays? So people are wearing, all kinds of crazy things and just getting that fun spirit going. Allison, any for you?
Yeah. Something else that I have attended before that was really fun. A lot of people will do white elephant parties at their office or with friends during the holiday season. I've been to parties where they do favorite things. Have either of y'all done this?
What's that?
Gosh, it's so fun.
What is that?
So it's great. You say, okay, this is your favorite things party, and your responsibility for this white elephant is to bring your favorite thing. And you still do a price limit. So say it's $25. What's something you spend around $25 on that is one of your favorite things in the world? Mine would be this candle that I really love. And so I bring the candle. Everyone else who's coming to the party is bringing their $25 favorite thing. And then instead of it being all these presents that you're going to just reuse for White Elephant in the future, it's something that people actually really love and you're probably going to really want to keep. So that's a favorite things holiday party.
So that's we're doing really that cool. As our team, and I'll bring a lot of jars of olives.
Okay, yeah. Sarah Kate loved olives. Let us know in the comments if you love olives too.
No, I don't. I'm going to comment for everyone to see that olives are the worst.
I'll bring like a variety pack. I'm sure like World Market or something has something like that for the holidays,
Olives from all over the world.
Yeah.
All over the world.
All over the world. That would be funny. Well, just to add on to what you guys have said, one that we did 2 years ago now is because it was a Roaring 20s theme, because obviously like we're in the 2020 season. And so Roaring 20s was a popular one, and people got all dressed up, like the hairstyles were on point. It was really fun.
I think it's important too to point out that this doesn't all have to be, look, I'm the one in Colorado, right? You're in Florida now, Sean, like understanding that you don't have to be in person for those things to be fun and exciting too. Like even a Roaring 20s party, having the opportunity to see everybody dressing up and having some fun and having a theme even behind a screen is still really, really powerful. So don't think that if you can't be in person for whatever reason that this doesn't apply to you. I think even more so having things that really spice up and further engage people is, really going to make a difference at your event.
Absolutely.
100.
We did that last year for our internal Elevate holiday party.
Yeah. Yep. I remember there was a contest.
Yep.
That's right.
I don't remember who won.
I won something. It was great.
It feels like 10 years ago that we did that now. Like
It does.
I was
It
like, did we do one last year? Like,
Yeah.
but we did it. We did an online one. It was fun.
Did. We did like the trivia things. We did a lot of games.
And something with music. We finished the lyric, I think.
Yeah.
And we had a friend of Billy's come on and do a game show for us.
That's right.
Mhm.
That's right. Yeah.
Yep. That was super fun.
Yep.
All right. So numbers 9 and 10 to close out today, the tips for holiday parties. Number 9 is to do a rehearsal before your event, especially if you're going to have like some key players participating. And during the rehearsal, test out your technology. Test out during the rehearsal and test it out right before you go live. Y'all want to say anything on those two?
Yes and amen.
Yes and amen is so true. I mean, we just did that yesterday for our event that's today. Right. We spent a couple hours 2 days ago going through our run of show, talking through transitions, doing all the things we've already talked about in this video so far. And then yesterday we did more of the technical run through, going through all of our tech. And even yesterday we were like, why is this one wire not working? Why is this one thing turning off? And we had no stress figuring out that solution because the event wasn't until today. So we could figure it out and get it all fixed. And today we're still going to start 3 hours before our event to make sure that the technology didn't somehow go haywire last night while we were asleep. Getting your technology to where you feel peaceful when your event starts is like such a gift to yourself. Please, please, please test as much as you can.
Yeah. And to everybody else that's participating. Like today we have, like Sean mentioned, Michael Blair, one of our friends, coming in to co-host with us. We have some other, people from errands that are going to be joining us in different places. And so making sure that everybody, it's kind of like beginning with the end in mind from a production standpoint too, is can we end up at go time with everybody feeling really easy, really comfortable, so that we can do what we're good at. We can really press in and make the event a huge success without having to stress about the little details and the little things that, we could have worked out earlier if we would have spent some time preparing and doing rehearsals and that sort of thing. So yes, and amen.
Yes, 100%. And I think it's really important to talk about like the time piece too, like what you guys were talking about, because giving yourself breathing space is so much nicer than scrambling and being like, wait, what about this? And wait, what about this? Like that's what the rehearsal is for, to go through the wait, what about this moments so that you don't have those leading up to your event.
And I think your tendency can be to run off of the adrenaline of, wait, what about this when it comes to your event? But if you go through an event having prepared fully and you have none of that adrenaline, it's so much more fun for you. So I just want to encourage all of our viewers to try it. And then let us know if you like having that.
We're passionate about this topic.
I think we should just start writing down all of the wait, what about this moments that we have, and then we can do a whole live stream just on those.
Yeah,
like,
100%.
Remember the wait, what about this when we needed this? Yeah.
Yes.
Coming.
I love it.
To a
well, Sarah, Kate, and Allison, hey, thank you so much for being on today. This was so fun. If you're watching this video, thank you so much for watching. If you're listening to the show recording on podcast, whether that's on Spotify or Apple, we hope that you would follow us. If it's on Apple, please be sure to give us a review. And if you're watching this on YouTube, we would love it if you joined us here by subscribing to our YouTube channel. You can like and you can comment. Hey, drop a comment below. What's maybe a question that you had that came up, that, or maybe a topic, a point that we talked about that you want us to go deeper on. And if you're looking for ideas, you can go to virtualeventsecrets.today. That is takes you to a part of our website where it's dedicated all to virtual events. And then from there on our website, you can also check out the store where we've got different icebreakers and different games that you could play either at your in-person, or you can play on virtual for your holiday party this season. Well, thanks so much for everyone for joining us for this has been a YouTube live. We're also going to put this on our show, Mic Drop Events, but it's been super fun, and we hope that you enjoyed the 10 tips for your holiday party. All right, I'm going to go back. We can wave and say goodbye. Bye, you guys. This was fun, and we're going to end the broadcast right about, wait for it. Oh no, I'm not ready. Wait, is it? I'm going to show the video one more time. Oh wait, I actually had a video to show. It's a different video, but I know. It's a different video. We can save it. We'll play it another time, but I'll show this video one more time. See you, everyone. welcome to the Elevate Experiences YouTube channel, where we help you create events that people love.